Hey everyone, so my name's Jose Moreno. I'm a student at Purdue University. I'm studying electrical engineering and I'm minoring in computer science and entrepreneurship. So I wanted to talk to you guys today because back in the day I was also part of District 61. Just like you guys, I went through Mark DeLay and then I went through Eisenhower. And I think I have some words of wisdom, I would say. They're not really words of wisdom because I'm not old enough to be wise and offer any such thing, but I think they're tips and you can take them for what they're worth. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is being unique. I know growing up and being in middle school, everyone wants to be part of a group, everyone wants to feel accepted, and that's fine and everything, but ultimately people become too similar to each other. I think it's really important to be unique. Even if you're weird about it, I guess. I know personally I'm a pretty weird guy, and I accept that, and as you grow old, it doesn't really matter who's the most popular or who's the coolest. It's more about who's more interesting. I know a quote, as cliche as it is, by Dr. Seuss that I really enjoy, is to be number one, you have to be odd. And what that means is even if you're a strange person and you don't necessarily think that other people will appreciate you for that, be confident in what you do because ultimately that'll set you apart. And as you grow old, as things become more competitive, as you're ultimately trying to get a job, what you have to do is set yourself apart somehow, be interesting. And you can't do that by trying to fit in and be like everyone else. So I think that's something really important to do. In terms of confidence, finding your voice is crucial. So by this I mean any form of communication. So even if you hate public speaking, practice it a lot because it becomes really important, and it becomes really important that you know how to communicate your ideas with others, to share your opinions and open up your voice. This also includes writing. I used to hate writing, but I went through District 61. I had great teachers. I remember the ones that were key in writing, I guess. I remember Mrs. Squares from 3rd grade and Mrs. Parr from 5th grade. They taught us how to write because, not because they imparted some great wisdom on us. They taught us to write by making us write a lot. We wrote like an essay every single week, I think it was, and I really appreciate that now because it's communication is something that is valuable in every aspect of my life, and it's something that I really treasure because I wouldn't have the opportunities that I have now if I wasn't able to put myself out there and be confident in what I'm doing. Speaking about opportunities, it's always really important to follow your opportunities. To give an example, back in high school, my senior year actually, I started taking a class called Introduction to AutoCAD or something, and what AutoCAD is, it's a computer software where you can design pretty much anything you can think of. And we were lucky enough that we had something called the 3D printer, which is like a regular printer except it creates any object pretty much you can imagine in 3 dimensions. So I ended up making this small little toy. It spins. It's just kind of fun. It doesn't really do much. And I actually had to pay my teacher. I had to buy him lunch for him to let me use it. But ultimately, it was worth it following that opportunity because it gave me the skills necessary to right now serve as the vice president of the Purdue 3D Printing Club. And we get to do some really cool things. So like right now I'm working on a 3D printed guitar. It's going to be a fully functioning electrical guitar. And it's letting me combine what I'm studying, so engineering, and something I really love to do, which is music, and in this case, guitar playing. And then being part of the club has also been really important in that it's given me the skills necessary to manage people. So we have something like 400 members, something crazy, and before that I would never have thought I would be able to, I guess, teach people what I know and explain to people things, and being part of this club has given me that option and that the skills necessary to do so. We also have officers I have to manage, so I tell them what work needs to be done, what work I'm doing, and it's everything we need to run such a big organization successfully. And none of this would have happened if it wasn't for me taking that opportunity back in high school and learning how to do something insignificant, even if all it ends up is you learning how to make cups that just kind of sit here for decoration. The coolest thing we're doing right now with that, actually, we have a guy, he made a 3D printer and he sent it up to the International Space Station. So he's coming in and he's going to speak with the club. So ultimately, again, this boils down when you follow your opportunities, you get to meet really interesting people, and you get to do really cool things. And without being confident about that, you'll never get to do any of that. So again, follow your opportunities, be confident about who you are, and then share your opinion, and good things will happen. Another thing I want to talk about, I guess, is find something you really enjoy, something you love, and then practice and work really hard to get really good at it. For me personally, this was music. So I started playing the piano back in second grade, I think, and I remember I would go to lessons and I really didn't enjoy it at all. It was almost like my parents were forcing me to go. But if I could thank them for anything right now, it's that they made me go to these music lessons, and they taught me something that I find really valuable. Right now, I do play guitar a lot, and I started playing guitar in 6th grade, actually. I would just go online, I would go on YouTube, I would find videos, and I've taught myself pretty much how to read music, and it's something I really enjoy now. Again, following opportunities, I found people here at Purdue. So I found a drummer that has his own drum set here. He's from England. I found another guitar player that lives in my building. She's from Brazil. And then my friend down the hall, he's actually from Russia. And I was walking past, I heard him singing one day, and I was like, dude, you're a really good singer. You should come play with us. So now we have this little band that's a really good time away from just all the stress of homework sometimes. And that wouldn't have been possible if I wouldn't have gone through all those music lessons and stuck with something and worked really hard for it. And ultimately it pays off because it gives me a place to be myself and to let go of my stress, and it's been really beneficial. So for you personally, whatever that is that you want to do, if it's sports or art or music, honestly, whatever it is, find something you really enjoy and then work really hard to get good at it, and ultimately people will appreciate you for that, and at least you'll get self-satisfaction out of it, which is the most important thing. Another thing, the last thing I want to talk about, I guess, is to just be a good person. So when you see your janitors, your teachers in the hall, try to smile, try to have conversations with new people, because ultimately the people you least expect are the ones that you might become best friends with, or the ones that have the most interesting short stories to share. So never be afraid to, again, as cliche as it sounds, invite that kid over that doesn't really talk to too many people. Invite him over to sit with you during lunch one day. You never know, you might have a lot of things in common. Aside from that, again, just always be really mindful that your parents and your teachers go through a lot of sacrifices to get you where you are. I know personally my parents I was actually born in Mexico City, as were they, and I've seen the sacrifices that they've gone through, and it's been tremendous. And I know at an early age I never really fully appreciated what that was, but just the fact that I'm here at such a great university and studying at such a first-rate program is really, it's still amazing to me, knowing where they come from and everything that they had to put me through. And this includes my teachers again as well. I can't thank them enough. And you really shouldn't take any of what you have right now for granted, because as you get older, there's less and less of those great teachers, and you're so blessed at District 61 to have such great teachers that fully support you and are actually concerned with getting you ahead as a student and as a person. And ultimately, that's something that's so valuable growing up in life, and it's something you should try to make the most out of. So if your teachers and your parents are putting so much work into you, the least you could do, I guess, is just to be a nice person, to try to get along with each other, and to say thank you every once in a while, and try to smile more often. So again, in closing, I just wanted to say, again, be thankful for what you have, try to be good to people, follow your opportunities, never be afraid to voice your opinion, and do something that sets you apart. Do what you love, and you'll always find happiness. Ultimately, it's not the smartest person that gets ahead, it's the one that works the hardest. By this I mean, you could be, you could be the top person in your class and completely slack off, and in 4 years you'll find that the person that was always studying, always putting in the work, will have passed ahead of you. So you're lucky to be at a great district and in great schools with great teachers. So take full advantage of the opportunities that you have. Ask for help when you need it, and always work really hard. Do all your homework. Learn to study early on, even if things aren't that hard right now, because down the road they will be. But ultimately, in the end, it's all worth it, and it's all for making you a better person and getting you out in life. So appreciate what you have. That's all I really have to say. So thanks for listening, guys.